move on to these. Okay, this is the next topic, and it's units. Okay, now basically all this is going to introduce you to the units that are going to be popular in the functional skills exam, and how to convert between them, okay, by using a conversion factor. Quite easy to recognise, again, because if you're not sure whether you divide or you multiply, you do them both. One of them's right, and one of them is glaringly obvious. Yeah. So first of all, let's have a look at some measurements and what we're all about. On this side of the table here, we've got what we used to be called imperial measurements: so feet, inches, yards, miles, ounces, stones, pounds, pints, and fluid ounces, etc. 12 inches in a foot, 3 feet and a bit in a yard, so many yards in a mile, all different numbers: 14 pounds in stones, 16 pounds, all that kind of stuff. Fluid ounces, gallons, all different numbers. Difficult to work with. On this side, we've got the metric system. Okay? Millimetres, 10 millimetres, 1 centimetre. 100 centimetres, 1 metre. 1,000 metres, 1 kilometre. A litre is made up of 1,000 millilitres. A kilogram is made up of 1,000 grams. So much easier. 10, 100, 1,000. All you've got to remember. These, so difficult. Yeah? If you had to convert ounces, stones, yards, miles, whatever, you convert metres to kilometres or kilometres to metres dead easy, because you're just using 10, 100 or 1,000. So, metric, so much better, so much easier to use. The most popular unit of measurement you'll come across in your exam is going to be the length, okay, because it's going to come up in perimeter, it's going to come up in area questions, quite common, and we know this already, we've already learnt that, okay, we've already learnt it. The method is always the same. Find the conversion factor. So if you're going from kilometres to metres, the conversion factor is 1,000, because there are 1,000 metres in a kilometre. Decide whether to multiply it or divide it. If you're not sure which, you do them both. Your answer will then become glaringly obvious to work out your answer. It's as simple as that. It's quite easy to do. We looked at this when we did area questions, so it should be not too much problem. Bob has told Sam that he once ran 56,500 metres in a race, but how far is this in kilometres? So we write down the information that we know. We know that a kilometre is equal to 1,000 metres. So the conversion there is this. 1 to 1,000. Do you remember we did scale? 1 to 1,000. So the conversion factor is 1,000. A kilometre is longer than a metre, so if we go from metres to kilometres, the number needs to get smaller. So you need to divide. 56,500 metres divided by 1,000 gives you 56.5 kilometres. Makes sense, that, doesn't it? If we'd have multiplied that number by 1,000, wow, yeah, would have been massive. How do I recognise that? I recognise it, and this is how I do all those conversions. I simply make it simple. One kilometre is 1,000 metres. Forgetting that measurement and that unit of measurement, just forgetting those for a second, just concentrating on the number 1 is smaller than 1,000. So if I've got 56,500, this number has got to be smaller, because that is a smaller number than that. Ignore the km, ignore the m. 1 is smaller than 1,000. So this answer has got to be smaller than that. I know I can only divide or multiply, so if I multiplied that by that, I'd end up with this number. That's way bigger than that, yeah? It's way bigger than that. So that's how you've got to work it. You've got to divide it. So you recognise you've got to divide it to get the right answer, yeah? 56.5 kilometres. Okay. And it's the same if you're doing this. Kilometres to miles. Same thing. 1 kilometre is 0.62 miles, 1 mile is 1.6 kilometres. So go from kilometres to miles, we just times the number. 80 kilometres times 0.6 gives you 48 miles. How do you know that? Because a mile is smaller than a kilometre. Yeah? So you know it's got to become a little bit smaller. And it's the same kilometres to miles. How many kilometres is 5 miles? 5 times 1.6. 5, 1.6, bigger number. So that has got to be bigger. It's got to be 8 kilometres. Yeah, it's got to be 8 kilometres. Quite easy to do. Quite easy to do. Yeah? Quite easy to convert between the two. These are some imperial measurements here. 12 inches is a foot, 3 feet is a yard, and 1,760 yards is a mile. If we had to convert any of those into metric, they'd give you the conversion. They'd tell you what to do. They'd give you a little formula to work it out. So you don't need to worry about that too much. We don't need to learn how to do that. They would always tell you how to do it. But they might give you something like this, that a gallon is equal to 8 pints. So how many pints are there in 12 gallons? So here's our 8 pints, there's our gallon. So we've been told that 1 gallon is the same as 8 pints. So the conversion factor there is 8. 1 to 8. It's like a ratio, isn't it? 1 to 8. A gallon is more than a pint, so to go from gallons to pints, the number needs to get bigger. So you need to multiply. It is bigger because there's 8 against 1. If we've got 12 of these, we times that by 12, which gives us our 96 pints. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fairly straightforward stuff, isn't it? It's fairly straightforward stuff. And it's the same thing with weight. John's got a bag of cement weighing 15 kilograms. He needs 750 grams of cement to make one mortar mix. So how many mortar mixes can he make with this cement, with his cement? The bag weighs 15 kilograms. 750 grams to make one mix. We've got 2 different units of measurement. We've got kilograms, we've got grams. We know there are 1,000 grams in a kilogram. Yeah, 1,000 grams in a kilogram. So if we've got 15 kilograms, we need to change it to grams. From kilograms to grams, you multiply it by 1,000. Yeah? So once we've then converted that to grams, quite simply, how many of them go in that? Does that make sense? Yeah? Does that make sense? There it is, 15 times 1,000 is 15,000, so that bag weighs 15,000 grams. 15,000 divided by 750, 20. You can do 20 mixes. Does that make sense? Yeah, that makes sense. So it's all about proportioning this up. It's a bit like ratios, to be perfectly honest, but it's all about proportioning it up. But you're going to get in your questions, you're going to get, and we've seen it already in the speed, distance and time, we've seen minutes and hours. We've seen it when we did area, we had centimetres, metres. We've seen it now, we're getting kilograms and grams. Quite popular. Weights are quite popular, yeah? Just remember, it's 1,000. Kilo means 1,000. So here's a little tester. Sarah is packing her shopping at the supermarket. The carrier bag she uses can only carry 3.5 kilograms. Here is the list of the items she has bought and their corresponding weights. Work out how many carrier bags Sarah will need. So the lemonade weighs 2 kilograms, the bottled water 2.5 kilograms, the eggs 200 grams, the bread 350 grams, the potatoes 3 kilograms, the pasta 425 grams, the milk 1.75 kilograms and the grapes 400 grams. How many carrier bags does she need to carry all that shopping home? Okay. How many bags does sheep need? And you can see we've got a mixture of grams and kilograms. Grams and kilograms.
I'm just not sure which way to convert it.
Well, if you look at the question, it says kilograms, the weight for the bags.
Yeah.
So all these grams,
Okay.
I would change to kilograms.
Right. Okay.
By, do you divide them or do you multiply them? Which do you do? Yeah? So you're going from grams to kilograms. If you're not sure, try them both. The answer will become fairly obvious. You've got to convert 5, haven't you? You've got to convert the eggs, the bread, pasta and the grapes. You've got to convert them to kilograms. Have you done it the other way? You have to convert it back at the end to get it back into kilograms. Or have you changed that to grams?
No, I've put it back.
Changed it back again, yeah? Whichever way works. Whichever way works. What I always tend to do is, because it's asking you about kilograms in the actual question, I change these to kilograms so they're all the same and I don't forget to change them back again. I don't forget to change them back again. So let's have a look what we've got. So we've got the lemonade. That's 2 kilograms already, so we're okay with that one. The water, that's 2.5 kilograms, so we're okay with that. We don't need to change it. The eggs is 200 grams. 0.2 kilograms, that isn't it? The bread, 350 grams, so that becomes 0.35 kg. Potatoes are already 3 kilograms. The pasta, which is 425 grams, becomes 0.425 kilograms. Milk is already in kilograms, which is 1.75. And finally grapes, 400 grams, which becomes 0.4 grams, kilograms, sorry. So we add all those together and then we divide it by 3.5 to tell us how many bags we actually need. So there it is. 10.625 kilograms divided by 3.5, so she needs 4 carrier bags to carry all that shopping home. Nice and straightforward. Yeah, nice and straightforward. Up to you. Change them to grams if you want, but then don't forget to change it back at the end to get kilograms in your answer. But whichever way you feel is the easiest particular method to do that. Sarah, it's not, it's Sally, is hosting a dinner party and has cooked the turkey for 327 minutes. What is that in hours and minutes? 3 hours 27 minutes. What's that in hours and minutes? Easier than you think. £5.45?
Yeah. Yeah.
5 hours 27. Because you're 0.45 of your decimal hours. Yeah?
Right.
Oh, yeah, so it's having
So you needed to convert that.
Yeah.
So you do 5 hours and convert it to 45.
Yeah. The easiest way to work that one, to be perfectly honest, is just to do this. 60 minutes.
Right, yeah.
60 minutes. 60 minutes. Yeah, there's your 5 hours, 300 minutes. 5 hours. What have you got left?
Yeah.
27 mins.
Huh.
So, easy to do. Divided by, divided that by 60 gives you 5.45, but remember on our digital clock, 0.45 is nearly at the bottom, which is your 27 minutes come to, yeah? So, if that question were 2 marks in an exam,
Would you get 1?
you'd probably get 1, wouldn't you? Because you got your 5.45 at some point. You just failed on that last little bit, slipped up on that last little bit. So just be aware of that. Yeah, just be aware of that. Just be aware. Okay? So that's units and converting.